STIHL Timbersport National Championships for 2019. We are here in Milwaukee. We are going through half of our field qualified from around the country. This is Pool A, 10 athletes, and at the end of today, we will find out the 5 who make it to the championship. We've got a couple of tough events coming up, one fairly conventional, the Underhand Kevin Holtz, and we've also got the Hot Saw, which is the upsetter event.
Yeah, the fickle mistress of the Hot Saw. But, you know, we'll start with the beginning. The Underhand Chop, the event that is most likely the first discipline that any of these guys will ever do. This is kind of the natural starting point in this sport. Nathan Waterfield just barely inside that bubble by 1 point over Calvin Willard. Both of those guys are really solid underhand cutters. I'm already looking ahead to the Hot Saw and already thinking about all the ways that can unravel so many of these competitors.
But before we get to that, Kevin, we have to settle the Underhand Chop, the fifth 6 disciplines that our 10 competitors here at Pool A are putting themselves through in hopes of finishing in the top 5. The top 5 move on to championship day. Here's Dave Jewett to tell us all about the Underhand Chop.
Don't blink in the Underhand Chop. This is one of the fastest events in timber sport. The elite athletes will be hitting the log in less than 1 second per hit. They will chop the front half of the log using their $700 axe. After they cut the front half of the log, the transition to the back is seamless. In less than 1 second, the axe is into the back side of the log. A 2-and-2 pattern, removing the chips. Then when you get close to the center, you have to be confident. Using precision, accuracy, power, you will drive the log off. Seems dangerous, right? It's actually one of the safest events. And yes, they are wearing a chainmail sock protection underneath their shoes.
In our first heat of the Underhand Chop, it will be Cassidy Shear, currently second place in points behind our leader Nate Hodges, going up against Adam Lethko.
Look at Cassidy Shear just pounding the hits in the block. Got a little bit off on his drive side there, and it looks like it might cost. No, he pulls it out. Bottom on the drive side, the bottom right side of Cassidy Shear's block, the hits kind of got turned in a little bit, like he was maybe leaning over his right leg a bit. And what'll end up happening if that happens to too big of a degree, just see that extra wood that's just in there. Now when he goes into drive, he's dangerously close to just pounding into the wood on the back side of that block instead of the fresh air that he created when he was on the front side of the block.
It would be Cassidy Shear laying down the time to beat at 21.12.
I want to win. I think if I perform at the best of my ability in each event, which is not easy, I think I can win.
That 55-year-old gentleman right there, Mike Slingerland, finds himself in third place, very much a part of the conversation.
It's really important when you're doing this. When you're finished with an event, you put that into the past and you look to the future. And you can't keep talking about what you've just finished. You've got to think about what you're going to do next all the time.
If he can hold serve, he'll be in those 10 shooting for the national championship up against Nathan Waterfield, the man, 5th place.
Wow, Mike really pushing that go. He is feeling the pressure, I think, to get this job done. He knows he's got his work cut out for him, cutting against Nathan Waterfield. Waterfield having to give a couple wiggles on those axes, on that axe, as it hangs a bit. I don't know, this is gonna be tight. This is gonna be really tight.
Oh man.
There it
wow, nice race. I think it's Nathan though. But I'm with you, I think they may take a look at that start there from Mike Slingerland there. He was pushing it to say the least.
That seemed eager.
Yeah.
There you can see on the near side, Waterfield had to wrench that axe out a little bit. And yeah, that caused fraction. There it is again, a bit of a wrench again. He got the heel of that axe stuck around the bottom of the log. Official ruling from Rich Hallett, both cuts are good, so no issues with the start there.
All right.
Advantage Waterfield in the end, but I tell you what, there's a few issues in that cut, I think mainly with axe and axe placement that really would have made it a little bit more of a runaway for Waterfield.
Although a great race with a great ending, very, very tight, bang and bang. Nathan Waterfield coming out ahead of Slingerland, but it wouldn't be good enough to take down the 21-12 set down by Cassidy Shear.
It's finally time to hot saw. This whole thing is just a glorified hot saw race, and here we go. It's time. It's coming, whether we like it or not.
Well, he'll just have to wait on that hot saw. We have a few more heats to finish up in Underhand. Coming up next, Calvin Willard going up against Chris Henning.
Pretty synchronized swinging for both of these guys. Both of them doing a really solid job cleaning out that front. Henning stays behind a little bit, puts in a couple extra hits. Willard had the job done. Look at the slope on Henning's block. Great angle, great attack. Willard's block is looking a little bit frayed.
That's hitting. Oh, by a hair, if at all.
I was just about to say that Chris Henning had done a little bit better of a technical cut, a little more work on the front, a little bit cleaner back. And I was about to say he was going to, be rewarded with an extra hit or two, but man, that was close.
And close it was. 2/100ths of a second between these two. Willard 22.73, Henning 22.75. Cassidy Shear still on top with only 2 heats remaining. We'll find out if it will hold up when we come back.
Cassidy getting the big one out, and it is Cassidy Shear.
STIHL Timbersports on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by STIHL, maker of a full line of gasoline and battery-powered handheld outdoor power equipment. Find yours at stihlusa.com. By Duluth Trading Company, the official workwear sponsor of STIHL Timbersports. And by John Deere, nothing runs like a deer.
Welcome back to Milwaukee. This is the STIHL Timbersports National Championship coming to you from Germanfest on the Summerfest grounds here in Milwaukee. We're over halfway through our Pool A competition where the top 5 advance to the finals. We're in fact right in the middle of the underhand chop, and Cassidy Shear has laid down the time to beat at 21-12 with only 2 heats remaining.
Timber sports is a very skill-oriented, skill-first athletic endeavor. So I need to make the most of my training. I'm just always trying to find the ideal mix of mastering technique and the mechanics of each one of those disciplines. Getting proper mechanics on your single buck stroke or your swing with the axe will give you more power than being strong or being fast ever will.
And actually using a full swing, there it is, Cassidy Shear.
So I'm constantly trying to make sure that my mechanics are completely dialed in and are efficient. I spend a lot of time working on my gear, optimizing it, making sure that it's cutting correctly. And then I also place a very large emphasis on training that I do in the gym to actually develop the ideal amount of athleticism. I have a training program that really focuses on speed and explosive power. Certainly all the work I do in here does transfer over to what I'm able to accomplish on the stage.
Cassidy's an exceptional all-around athlete.
It's kind of a constant battle trying to figure out, what's the right amount of event training, what's the right amount of, physical training, being as fast and as strong and as agile as possible. All of our events should be done in 20 seconds or less, and the springboard's only about 50 if I'm doing it right.
Thank you, sir. A 47.69 showing on the unofficial time.
And then once you do have the technique dialed in, that extra power, strength, physicality can really be the edge that makes a difference in a tight race. Yet at the same time, being a better athlete naturally puts you in a better position to have good mechanics. So, I keep on dialing that in, but it's always a constant game of, thinking, how can I best optimize my abilities?
We've got one more heat left to go, and Nate Hodges here by 1 to start into the underhand, going up against 3rd place and points Jason Lentz.
This is going to be a race, Tommy. I'm so absolutely blown away by the consistency of Nate Hodges. Good on him, but he's got a big, tall dance partner out there on stand number 2.
Yeah.
Jason Lentz just making it happen.
And if the unofficial time is to be believed, then we'll be looking at 1 and 2 in the final reckoning on underhand.
Taking a look at the cut from Jason Lentz here. His opening side, a lot of wood hanging out there in the top. Gets that cut around, gets spun, gets his feet steady. Great slope, tremendous accuracy, driving blows right to the handle. A very clean, efficient cut.
That was a decent underhand I cut there. The other events didn't go so well, but
Yep, we'll be all right. One more.
Well, he took the top points, that is for sure. The official time, 17.229, and right behind it, Nate Hodges getting in there with a 19.74. First and second, Lentz and Hodges. And this is the way our STIHL Timbersports overall points stack up with only one event remaining. Bolton, Lethco, Laban, and Henning are mathematically out of the top 5, with only Calvin Willard in the bottom 5 able to work his way into that top 5 in our final event. It's the hot saw, and it's coming up next.
Hodges wants nothing to do with it. He's coming at this log right now. Jason Lentz is driving, and he's off. What a cut by Jason Lentz.
Welcome back to Milwaukee. We're all coming down to the final discipline of the day. That's the hot saw. There's the situation. STIHL Timbersports overall points. Nate Hodges on top, as he has stayed on top throughout this competition. He is 2 points, though, only ahead of Cassidy Shear, but the real story down there in position number 5. Only 5 of the 10 contestants will advance to the finals. Kevin Holtz, we are in the probably the most unreliable, unpredictable, I think by far, discipline that we will see all day long. The hot saw, but it sure is exciting. To tell us more about our next event, here's Dave Jewett with the Duluth Trading Company Discipline Review.
Loudest and fastest event in timber sports. These are the Frankensteins of the saw world. This is the hot saw. Once the competitors bring their saws up on stage, they have an 18-inch log in front of them. Now, they are allowed a 60-second warm-up. Why? These saws are 250 to 350 cc engine. Since this is the final event, the competitors can no longer hold back. Hands on top of the wood. They wait for the go. On go, they must start the saw, pick it up, full throttle into the wood in around 1 second, severing that 18-inch log with a 200-mile-an-hour chain speed. A seamless transition into the upcut. Once again, feeling that 60-horsepower engine, then going into the third cut, hopefully dropping 3 clean discs in around 6 seconds, getting major points.
Well, here's a move from Cassidy Shear. This is called playing it safe. So, and I've got mixed emotions about this. So, Cassidy Shear is in fine shape with points unless something was to go catastrophically wrong in the hot saw. He's going with a production modified saw, not a true open saw. More reliable, et cetera, et cetera. I get that move. I respect that move as a strategic play, but at the same time, when it gets to be go time, if your move is to get to the finals, I don't know. I say dance with the one that brung you. Production mod saw, open mod saw. I hope both these guys have great runs. We'll get to see a nice side-by-side run. If Nathan Waterfield does not win this heat, something went very, very wrong for him.
3, 2, 1, go!
There you have it. Tell you what, Cassidy Shear, that third cut looks pretty smooth.
For a guy playing it safe, he got out on the edge a little bit there.
Yeah, you can see the expression on his face. I think he was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Head Judge Rich Hallett has got his hand on.
Oh, you don't want to see that. Oh boy, Cassidy Shear sitting there in second place.
Stand 2 under review.
Okay, faces the possibility of not posting a time.
Let's go back and watch these guys again. There's Nathan Waterfield up on his mark. Look at how close he came, though, on the bottom of that first cut. He was dangerously close to the edge, and again on the third cut.
After review, stand 2 is a disqualification. The saw was running and pointing at the crowd. This is clearly stated in the rules, and it's unsafe. Disqualification.
Oh, wow.
That is a shocker right there.
Well, there you can take a look at Cassidy Shear. You can see the exhaust blowing out of that saw. The chain's still moving as he's got it turned around. Makes a full sweep all the way across. That saw cannot point out towards the audience. It must remain pointed towards the safety glass. That's a really unfortunate break for Cassidy Shear. He's had such epic growth over the past few years. Now all he can do is sit and wait.
Cody Laban in the foreground, going up against Chris Henning. Stand number 2. The time to beat now, let's not overlook Nathan Waterfield's excellent time of 6.76. So that stands Nathan in a good spot, trying to hang on to that 5th place
3, 2,
or better.
1, go!
I'll tell you what, you know who didn't like that heat right there is Cassidy Shear.
Cody Laban was the quickest to the wood. He was a little tight to the line on that third cut. We'll see.
He's looking it
still
over.
there.
No, there's,
yeah. Oh, boy.
Stand 1, DQ, cut the line. Stand 2, cut is good.
Yeah. Well, here it is right there. It's 6.48 for Chris Henning, so that's a very respectable time. Puts him in first place. Cassidy Shear. Wheels are turning, obviously.
There's nothing to do but sit and watch at this point. And not that you want to have ill wishes for your fellow competitors, but a few more disqualifications would do him a whole lot of good right now.
Only the top 5 of these 10 competitors in Pool A are going to make it into the championship round. Calvin Willard, his prospects looking a bit better. Calvin Willard came into this one 6th place in points, right out of the top 5.
There you can see on Matt Bolton on my old cruiser there,
Athletes
Fluffy.
ready.
Got the end of the crankshaft covered up on that too.
Timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Really synchronized runs. It's going to be advantage Willard at the end. Look at the time though. Matt Bolton running around checking the line. Calvin Willard in his run. Look at how thin that first cut was towards the far bottom. Look at them all. He could probably sneak another cut in there. Great clean run from Calvin Willard.
And look at the times here for Calvin Willard, officially a 5.71. Boy, did he do himself some good with that cut in the hot saw right there, and right behind him, Matthew Bolton with a 5.98. We only have 2 heats remaining in the hot saw to determine who will be in the top 5 to advance to our finals. Will Cassidy Shear stay in that top 5? We'll see when we return to Milwaukee. You don't want to miss it.
STIHL Timbersports on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by STIHL, maker of a full line of gasoline and battery-powered handheld outdoor power equipment. Find yours at STIHLUSA.com. By Duluth Trading Company, the official workwear sponsor of STIHL Timbersports. And by John Deere. Nothing runs like a deer.
Welcome back to Milwaukee. This is the STIHL Timbersports National Championship. We're in Pool A of our competition. Nate Hodges has put on a stellar performance, heading into one of his strongest events, the hot saw. That's Nate Hodges, number 1, the winner of our Western qualifier, winner of 2 disciplines today. Likewise, 2 disciplines won by Mike Slingerland, 55-year-old Mike Slingerland, more than 30 years, competitor, STIHL Timbersports.
3, 2, 1. Go!
Hodges first to the block.
Oh, my word. Oh, good heavens. That was impressive. That fast performance is our John Deere power play. Nothing runs like a deer.
Look at how quick Nate Hodges was into the wood and how accurate he was as well. Look at the shove at the end of that run. Nice run, Nate Hodges.
To train, you went to Australia this winter to train. You come home, you get your hot saw, you go to Chico, California to check out your hot saw. Then you get a single buck saw. You go to Saint Etienne, Quebec to train the single buck. Now you're in Milwaukee and you just won your pool, my friend.
Yeah, it goes to show what a little bit of hard work and dedication will do, I suppose, huh?
Absolutely, and you literally had to travel the globe to get this equipment. Anything you want to say, or are you just so focused for tomorrow you're already thinking about it?
No, I mean, I'm having a great time. I hope the fans are having a great time, and it's just absolutely awesome to be here. So,
I tell you what, you were just shocking us all. I can't believe that time. I'm still waiting for the official time in that hot saw, but we'll let you go. We'll let you get your hot saw. Hey, one more time, Nate Hodges, first time timber sports, and he just won his pool.
As fast as I've ever seen.
And you can just see him
to the wood.
Yeah, the bottom third of that third cut, you see his knees buckle a bit and his weight shifts forward, and it's just, here we go, boys, buckle up, shoves it through the bottom of that cut.
Check out that time as well. The official time, 5.346 for Nate Hodges. Calvin Willard, second place. Mike Slingerland, good acquittal for him too, 5.9. So Mike Slingerland looking good to remain in that top 5. Bear in mind, we got Jason Lentz having yet to cut. Also Lethco. So that's runner-up last year. The championship.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, no. Yeah.
No good.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say. Adam Lesko went for it. Jason Lentz beat him to the block, and things just derailed from there on stand number 1. There's the heat win from Jason Lentz right down the line. Oh, man, that second one was thin. And the good news is, though, that left him plenty of meat for that third cut. He's kind of peeking over there a little bit at cut number 2 himself.
So there's your final leaderboard. Hodges tremendous 5.34, winning his third discipline of the day. Calvin Willard moving up there. Definitely going to make it into the top 5. And there it is. Cassidy Shear. Boy, you talk about getting away with something. One right there,
wow.
A DQ. Somehow, he was able to beat out Nathan Waterfield for that 5th spot right there. Waterfield, Bolton, Henning, LeBon, and Lethko. We'll head back home, and it's Cassidy Shear, Calvin Willard, Jason Lentz, Mike Slingerland, and leading the way, not by a little, but by a lot, Nate Hodges, your 5 from Pool A, who will compete in the championship round. Join us next time when we'll have 10 more athletes competing in Pool B of the STIHL Timbersports National Championship, shooting for the last 5 spots in our finals. I'm Tommy Sanders, and for Kevin Holtz, we'll see you next time here in Milwaukee.
Nate Hodges' first time Timbersports, and he just won his pool.